All right, it's unscripted narrative. It's just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
But don't boom boom.
Yeah, I was on a run there, you know, like they do on American Idol. That annoys the shit out of me.
Hold on, ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm.
It's D, ready? Right, unscripted narrative.
Unscripted narrative. Yeah. Welcome in, everybody, to just us hanging out. It's been a while since it was just you and I doing a podcast here.
Loving it.
But we thought
bringing it back to the OG status.
Exactly. Kick off the year talking about what we look forward to in 2020, man.
Yeah.
And actually saying goodbye to 2019.
2019 was challenging.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities came.
Yeah, man.
But it was a challenging year. Health stayed good.
That is good.
Yep. So everything, moving forward, man.
Exciting. And this whole thing is really exciting. Super pumped about it. Loving all the people we're interviewing and having discussions with that end of year panel, which was super stellar, super
massive.
Awesome. You know, you had the idea, and I kind of was like, are we really going to do that? Are we really? How's that going to go? And we had some hiccups. We had some things that were a part of it, getting everybody on the same page. But it was so awesome that they all made time for us. And it was more than an hour. I mean, it was a 2-hour podcast, but they spent, a good almost 3 hours with us.
Peter Winther flies in from San Francisco, lands in Burbank, drives to the studio for the show.
That's awesome.
And then has another thing and he's got to go. I mean, it's just like, this is how this industry works. It's like, bam, you got 15 minutes, go.
And that they made time.
Yeah.
And what I will say is that a really cool compliment for us and what we're doing is that every single guest so far has really enjoyed just sitting here and rapping.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing a TV interview. It's totally relaxed. Yep. We're just having a conversation.
It's a rated R interview.
Well, absolutely it is. Absolutely, that is true. I heard Howard Stern say that. Howard Stern used to do radio, and the interviews are really short when you're on radio. But when he went to Sirius, he was able to have longer conversations, and he felt like the interviews just were better. And that's the beauty in what we're doing with this podcast.
Well, I think going on what the Howard Stern thing is, when you're on the radio, you're on air. You have to fit in all of these things inside the show because it's programmed.
Right.
And that's the beauty of unscripted narrative is we really come in without a plan, but to just talk.
That's right.
And I love that, man.
Yeah, we really don't.
And you and I talk really good.
That's true. We do like to talk. I actually typically don't come in. I like to come in prepared a little bit. I like to know a little bit about.
Yeah, you do your research.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't always.
Right.
So I just come in. My only goal, sometimes I'm a little nervous, I'll admit it to you.
Right.
I'll admit it to our listeners.
Yeah.
But I come in I say to myself, just be really curious. But what's beautiful about it, I don't have to do anything, man. It just starts. People like to conversate, not only about themselves, they enjoy talking about their projects and stuff like that, but they just like to be able to relate.
Yeah.
And that's what I find in this project. I'm loving it. It's a great opportunity.
2020 is going to be massive, dude.
Yeah.
We got some inquiries out there right now for some really big stuff.
Yep.
And I try not to rely on this aspect of the unknown, but my gut's telling me that it's probably going to happen because the show is legit.
Yep.
We're on all podcatchers and every platform that there is. We're on YouTube. People can go there. I've sent on my inquiries, I've sent the Tony Richmond snippets. I've sent the Sasha snippets.
That's smart.
And I'm like, this is what we're doing. We've got it, and using things like legendary director of photography, Tony Richmond. And they go,
well, he is.
Did you say legendary? I want to be a part of that.
Well, he is legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really cool. And I'll say this, I did get a little, I've been podcasting for a while and we've developed some really great fans along the way. And got a text the other day from a really good friend and fan, Tina Greenwood, and she said she
friends with her on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she loves what we do, and she loved the Tony Richmond podcast. She said Hal is just adorable.
Yeah.
which of course we know he is.
Yep.
He's super funny. That was one of my most fun podcasts.
He was like a firecracker.
It's crazy.
Actually, he was like a flare. Just on fire the whole time.
Instant. Him and Michael Davis.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Davis was a blast.
Yeah.
So, and of course, all of our guests have been amazing.
Right.
But some of them just come in just with a bang, and you know them, I don't. So I'm just a little surprised, and we just roll.
Well, what's really fun about all of these people so far, all of our guests, is mostly we know the work that they've done.
Right. That's it.
And then if you hadn't heard of Assassin's Code,
right,
then you go, oh, there's something for me to watch. And then all of a sudden there's leverage happening in a positive way that Amazon Prime is now streaming the Assassin's Code more than it was.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
That.
It's like we're having some effect on people.
I hope so.
Buck Snow said that he received new followers after our show.
That's great.
That's what we're trying to do is spread the love, man. It's really hot.
Well, even me, right? Because I don't know everybody, and it gets me interested in everything that they're doing. And I do know one of the ones that I do know is Peter Facinelli. Right. I didn't know I knew him until you're, hey, this is Peter, and then I was like, oh, hey, I've seen Twilight.
Yeah.
You know, he was on Twilight, obviously. Yeah. And then I watched Breaking and Exiting.
Isn't that great?
What a great film.
Yes.
What a great film. And I want people to know that it is available on Amazon Prime. I watched it myself.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah. It's
stellar
super great. That's how I met Peter.
So good. Sasha does his work on
Sasha composed that.
So if you want to hear Sasha's work, that's how you hear Sasha.
Future guest Cecile.
She was a producer. Was she also?
She also acted in it.
She was the one in the grocery store parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of our followers on Instagram.
I have an Instagram message to respond to her. She said, "Sure, I'd love to talk about it. So just call me and let me know,
cool.
What's up." So she's coming on too. Milo and Jordan. Breaking and Exiting was fantastic.
Oh, what a great
fun little indie movie.
Now Jordan was the lead actress, right? She also wrote the film.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. How cool is that?
It's awesome.
How cool is that? You have an idea. It goes down onto paper.
Yeah.
You put it in front of people. They give you money. And you go make a movie.
It's beautiful.
And then you finish the movie and it's released and doing well.
You know, I hope they do well, because one thing I'm a huge fan of is indie film. Now, these are working actors. They're successful working actors that are moving into directing, like Peter Facinelli. He's become a director, and he did a really good job on that. He talked about on the end of your panel that he took a chance on Milo Gibson, who's Mel Gibson's son.
Yep.
He did great.
Oh, yeah. He was fantastic.
He did great. And you can totally see he looks like Mel Gibson, man. Totally. I'm like, whoa, yeah.
Mini me.
Totally, right? He did great.
He really did. And he's a nice guy. That's the thing too, is when you meet these people and they're nice.
Yeah.
And they're not walking on sunshine up, somewhere on top. And you're just like, man, this is really kick ass when you get to sit and hang out and work.
How great is that?
That's really what Unscripted Narrative birth from, is being able to just have a conversation with these people because they're interesting.
They're interesting and they're normal people.
Yeah.
They're just working. They're just doing what they love. They're being creative, and not all of them are incredibly successful. They're just busting away like the rest of us. Yep. And I love that too, because they're still just doing it, and they're still just trying to get themselves. Oh, absolutely. They want to see their projects through.
Yep.
2020, man, I'm looking forward to what we're going to.
And I'm sorry, I said big inquiries, some musical guests, some elite top level athletes. And then of course our actors and actresses and our directors, producers. One of the guests that'll be on, Cecile, she's a stunt driver.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
She drives a motorcycle.
That's so cool.
It's rad.
Yeah. So, and then also for me, we brought Jonesy in last year. It was our first kind of breakaway from sort of the movie industry. Not really, because he has been in movies, but we focused on stand-up. And as a person who pursued that, I loved how candid he was. I loved everything that he said about it. We touched on some of the landscape of comedy, the landscape of being able to say what you want.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that he went there with us. And it was just really, really good. Anybody that wants to be a stand-up comedian really should listen to that show.
Yeah.
Too.
What really stood out for me out of all of that interview with him was when he made the comparison that you can identify what's okay to talk about with your crowd.
Yeah.
And then he used Hitler as an example, and he said, you start seeing people twitch in their seat. That to me, I was like, God, that's like, I don't do stand up, but I live in a world where I can use that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you and I are doing this show, we can actually use that technique to kind of get into the guest's head a little bit and get them to come to us. Come to us, you special person.
It's true. It's true. And being a stand-up comedian, that's one of the things I'm gonna, as we move along through 2020, you can look forward to me reaching out to some of the comics that I do, that I've come to know, bringing them along, and hoping the door opens up for that a little bit more too, because they're super interesting people. They're also actors. They're also in the business and pursuing it, and some of them are even writers. So it's very connected there, and I can't wait to actually explore even the musician side of it a little bit more, because you and I are gonna nerd out on that. I mean, we nerded out with Buck. That was nerd out session. I know everybody probably, there's some people that are like, it's a little over their head, and we totally know that, and there's going to be moments like that. But hey, But
you know what? We're both aware of that, and we try.
We do.
We try to break it down. Like, what's a clapper? What's a mixing console? That kind of thing. So I think so far we haven't landed outside the box. I don't think.
No,
we've covered all the things. Even Brett on the panel, he was like, "So should we talk about what that is?" And then I was like, "Yes, we should." And that goes off into that whole conversation. And I'm remembering now, I got great thank yous. I called everybody after the panel and just said that Jason and I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Every one of them were like, Sasha, I called him. He's like, brother, I love your show. It's so
Sasha's
great.
so great.
It was wonderful. And Michael Mintz, color artist extraordinaire, also was very appreciative to the invitation, and said he'd be honored to come back.
Please.
So all of that stuff is leading to a huge road, and we're traveling down it, Jay.
Yeah, Sasha's one of my new favorite people in the world, man. He's just such a genuine, loving human being, industrious, busts his ass, very creative. And, like we said on the panel, he works hard to not actually really be heard.
Right.
But when you get the opportunity to actually pay attention, especially if you watch a movie like Breaking and Exiting, I don't know if that's the piece that Peter Facinelli was talking about. There's this little piano piece that underlines the lead actress. And it was it's brilliance. And you don't go, oh my God, I love the composition. Nobody leaves the theater really thinking that. But if you can actually, listeners, just pay attention to that for a minute, you'll have a real appreciation for what someone like Sasha does.
I love that. Because I think inside of that idea is a bigger show idea, which would be the elements of making a movie. Like, we bring Buck in, let's say, and we go, this is the dialogue, and you listen to it, da-da-da-da-da. Then
that would be sweet,
basically what I did for you in the studio.
Yes.
I showed you what it sounds like when you film it on set.
Oh, that'd be so cool, dude.
And then when we add all the stuff in it, and that's what you hear at the movie theater or on your television, that would be a cool show.
I think people would love that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And that's got to be on video. That's got to be really well done. Take our time.
I was going to say
good audio of all that.
Produce that well.
And cool ideas. I mean, we've got a lot of cool ideas. I'm loving it. We're going to do our best to continue to give them to you weekly. We all have our own schedules, especially right around this time of year. Exactly. So we're trying to double up on the days when we're recording, so we have plenty to come.
Not so fast.
What?
You have a podcast.
I do.
You have more than one podcast.
I started another one too, by the way.
Come on, dog. I know what they are. You tell us.
What a podcast is?
No.
Oh, what
your
the podcasts
podcast
are. Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. Well, the Jason and Mindy podcast is the longest running podcast that I've been on.
And who's Mindy?
Mindy's my wife.
Yeah,
that's my bae. It's like you call her, it's
bae.
M Train.
M Train in the house.
I love that. We started a podcast called Three is Comedy way back. Well, gosh, it'll be 5 years now, with our good friend Bob, who's a stand-up comedian, and we did that for 316 episodes, something like that.
Wow.
And then he left, so we changed our name to the Evening Radio Podcast, and then eventually said, hell with it, it's the Jason and Mindy Podcast.
Nice.
But that we've been doing that show, God, we've probably done close to 600 episodes, something like that.
For those of you counting.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Because we do it live. It's a live show. I
Yeah.
love that. That's part of the thing that I'm really into, because I'm a big fan of morning radio and stuff like that. So we do it live on Castbox, a little app that you can hear our stuff on. And then there's another show.
Is that you just download that at the App Store?
Yeah.
Google Play or
yeah,
something?
and it's on all devices,
Okay.
iPhones, Android devices. So
Cool.
you can hear it there, and there's a little live function there, and you can check out all the shows that are producing live.
Rad. Is it something that the app will send out notifications when the show's going on?
If you follow us, yes.
Nice,
If you
cool.
follow us while we're going live, yes.
I
it'll
used
do
to
that.
follow you because you were on Mixler,
yeah.
and then you guys went away.
We did.
And
We did.
I stopped getting. So where do I need to go? Castbox?
Castbox.fm.
Would my mom be mad at me if I got my phone and downloaded the app on the show?
Oh, I don't think she'd care. Yeah, let's do it right now. So
I'm doing it right
Castbox
now.
is there. We do.
You guys do it too.
Yeah, do it right now.
Castbox.
Exactly. So we do a couple shows out of there. We also have The Difference Between Us. That show's a little different. We focus on one topic and just tackle it and have fun. It's with me, Mindy again, my brother-in-law David, and my sister Stephanie.
Nice.
And we do a lot of other shows. Those are the main ones. And I just started a brand new one. I want to feature that one because it's really a fun show. It's kind of a pop culture type podcast where I do some music news and entertainment news and just some random goodness.
Is this the Daily Dose?
The Daily Dose. Yeah,
I like
just
that.
started, and it is daily. It's Monday through Friday. It's very short. It's like 10 to 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Easy to consume.
Right.
It's my newest project. It's really fun. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
So, and I do my little Instagram 1-minute videos for it and stuff
Cool.
like that. But those are my shows, man.
Now, do you have social media for all that stuff?
I do, not for the Daily Dose. I have my own Instagram, Jason D. Galbraith. And then, yes, the Jason and Mindy podcast has one. The Difference Between Us has one.
Nice.
We have a Twitter account called Low Tree Studios, and that covers all the shows.
Cool.
And then we have a website, lowtreestudios.com, which this very podcast is also on.
Excellent.
It's all of our shows there. Thanks for plugging those, man.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to my buddy Scott and John in Michigan. They got the NMD Narcissistic Music Disorder podcast.
Mm-hmm. Go get it.
That I listened to their first show on New Year's Day.
Okay.
when it came out. Killer.
Oh, cool, man.
And it is really weird to hear people talk with so much knowledge about the history of music.
Oh, it's a history
It is
of music.
like, well, it's just like they go, oh, who was on that? Oh, yeah, Randy Rhoads played on that. And I'm like, he did? You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or who was the, I'm trying to remember what John was saying something about he was all in on the hair metal stuff, which I was too.
So John's
And
one of the hosts on the podcast?
John
Okay.
Merchant, yes.
Okay.
And he was talking about something, and Scott pipes in and he goes, oh, yeah, did you know that da-da-da-da-da was about that? And John was like, no, I had no idea. You know,
That's
it's like,
cool.
it's so cool to hear.
Yeah.
I love music. You love music.
Absolutely.
It's a great podcast, man.
Yeah, I
and
probably
it's
would
fun.
be into that for sure.
They're just starting. So check them out on Instagram too.
Yep.
NMD sorry, Scott.
Get it? It's brand new. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to learn it. But I know Scott is his tag is like Long Beach something,
16.
right? And I've seen him.
He's an avid
encouraging
follower,
us
yes.
along the way. So really appreciate that, Scott. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, big time.
So yeah, it's NMD. Now, what is it? Narcissistic Music
Disorder.
Check out their podcast.
Yep.
And then we want to shout out our buddy Jonesy. His podcast is pretty dope. And actually, I got to give him some credit. I love it. That's it. I got to give him some credit because I had the idea to do this daily short podcast for a while. You know, I've been podcasting for a while, but I was like, gosh, I don't know if I have the time. I don't know if I want to do it. And then I met him at that Patreon event and he does it. And I was like, you know what? Thanks for inspiring me, bro. And it's totally different than his show. His show's weird news and it's awesome. And it's his take on it. And if you heard Jones, he's really funny. He's even funnier, I think, on this because he tries to ride the clean line, doesn't cuss, but the news is weird. And he has really funny responses to it. But I want to thank him for inspiring me, but check his show out. It's totally different than what I'm doing. And it's awesome. Yeah. And it's actually doing well. Nice. So give him some shout outs.
Dude, proud of you, man.
Thanks, man.
That's tough.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain it. We'll see.
That's tough, dude. I mean, there's a lot of life happening and a lot of podcasting happening. Yeah. So that's cool, man.
And I love this. And you and I are the load that we're taking on. I'm super stoked about it. I love the video stuff we're doing. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to do it. And all this stuff's going to improve for us throughout this year. Exactly. We're going to do much, much better for you guys. And let us know what you love, what you don't, who you want to hear.
I love that idea.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what any questions that you have for a director?
I love that idea. Yeah. What about what's our email? Unscripted narrative pod.
I think so. Let me check real quick.
We're going to find out what our email is.
Too many damn emails because I got too many damn podcasts. So let me look for you here. I believe, let's see. I hate these dramatic pauses.
That's
here.
okay. We're working for folks here.
Yes, you were right. Unscriptednarrativepod@gmail.com.
Drop us some emails, man, and let us know if you have a request, or it would be great to have Lou Ferrigno on the show.
Oh, damn it, wouldn't it?
The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, God, that would be sweet.
Right? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, right. And even better, what are your inquiries? What do you, when you think about a movie, what do you think? Okay, I'll give you an example, dude. I watched this movie, Walter.
Okay.
Now it's starring Peter Facinelli. That's why I wanted to watch it. And it was they did this weird thing, and I don't know if they did it intentionally, right? And I don't even know why I noticed it, because this is how dorky I'm getting now because of you and all of your friends that we're interviewing. I start seeing shit and I go, right? So the guy, Walter, the main character, he's walking down the road. He's having this realization moment, right? And for whatever reason, I noticed what side of his head his part was on, right? Yeah. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it. I just paid attention to that. And there's one particular part where he's walking down the bridge. His part is on the other side. So I'm like, Mindy, I'm sorry. I have to rewind this. And she's like,
"You have bottomed out, bro."
Oh.
Yes,
and she's
good.
like, and she could give a crap, dude. But I was like, "What did they do?" It lasts too many scenes. I'm like, I miss stuff because I'm going, "Did they do that intentionally?"
Well, here's a possibility.
Oh,
do you remember when Peter was talking about being in the RV making Hour of Lead?
Yes,
and filming the dog. They filmed it on the same side and then flopped the shot in post.
Yep.
It is possible that they did the first shot and it was that way, and then to save time because they were at the end of the day or in the middle of the night and it was the sun was about to come up or whatever, would make it impossible for them to get that again.
Now, why would they need to flip it though? Why would he need to be coming the other direction?
Lighting.
Really?
Yeah. Because like if he turns and takes a step the other way, then you would want to see him coming down that direction.
Okay, but most people don't see that stuff.
Man.
But unfortunately now, I'm ruined. So thank you for
You're welcome.
That. By the way, we're doing this video here, and you'll see it, right? Because we're just we're pulling the curtain back. I'm putting a little business card right here because there's this glare from the. So you'll see that. Probably should tape it. Probably should be. We're professionals here. Anyway, you guys listening on the, in your earbuds, you didn't see that. But check out the YouTube so you can see this crap. Because you can see our beautiful faces and Michael's incredible glasses. And now, because
Papa. What, Daddy? Papa.
Because of our logo now, he has to wear a hat backwards for the rest of his life on the podcast.
That's right.
So, how you feel about that?
I'm not hating it.
All right.
I'm actually digging it. It's kind of like a shtick. I've never had a shtick before.
You got to have a little bit of a shtick.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, have you ever watched Marvelous Miss Maisel?
No.
Check that out, right? And I know you probably don't like watching stuff because you're always watching stuff, but they do some really creative cinematography on there.
Nice.
Like they do these long choreographed shots.
Wow. Those are some of my favorites.
To where you're the last one that we saw, I don't remember which episode it is, but I was like, what is going on here? I was like, this is, I was making me a little bit like, why are they showing this right now?
Right.
But then I realized what they did. And it was a long choreographed scene with a band.
Oh, wow.
And dancers and it went all the way around, very minimal dialogue, which I understand why, because if they mess it up, they got to reset the whole thing, right?
Yep.
It was just, those are the types of things that when you start to learn more about film, that's why I hope people that are listening to this start to see film a little differently. Not to ruin you, like seeing people's hair parted on a different side, but so that you can appreciate the beautiful artwork that is someone like that cinematographer who did that on Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah.
Or when you watch Birdman and you realize those are long scenes that go on forever.
Yes.
That is cool shit.
Art. That's art.
It. That's there is art.
Amazing stuff.
There is art to hard edits and stuff too, but there's something really cool about letting the cameraman do this fluidness with the actors and stuff. Man, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like to bring up also, because I'm a big fan of those. Those are some of my favorite things
really
to see.
cool.
Is like, God, was that a oneer? That's what they call it. Is they roll camera and then they do this.
Oh, it's cool.
Huge
dude.
long thing, and you're along with them, and you realize you get to the end of like the walkthrough, and you've been on it for over 2 minutes, and then they cut, and you're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end of that, studs like Brett Hedlund, who have to cut performances together because they're so sporadic and not well performed sometimes by the actors and or actresses.
And he's fixing. There's some fixing involved.
Damage control.
Yeah, you'll see some of that. It's unfortunate when you catch some of that stuff when you're like, oh, that the ADR was not great there. Right. Their mouth was saying something completely different.
Dude, so let me just talk about ADR for a second.
Please.
I started shooting ADR in 1994. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
Worked with some incredible people. And some not so incredible people. The thing about ADR, that there's a technical art to it, and you have to be able to recognize mouth shapes.
Yeah.
Because
now,
they
that
can
your
have,
job, or is that
unfortunately, the director may like the performance that the actor just gave in the studio. The ADR is when there's technical problems on set, and so they come back in to
do voiceover work,
to re-say their lines.
Right.
Now, to clarify, voiceover is voice narration.
Almost narration,
narrating on top of visual. ADR is dialogue in the scene.
Yes.
Pertaining to the content of the scene. Now, it's the dumbest acronym ever because it's automatic dialogue replacement. Nothing automatic about it.
It's not automatic. It's hard working.
It's ass kicking, long hours, stressful,
irritating
dialogue recording.
Now, okay, how many in a film?
Yeah.
How is every film? Does every film have ADR?
Yes.
If you ever had a film where there wasn't any?
On principle, we did. Yeah. I can think of maybe a couple.
Just a couple.
Yeah. But the reason that I can't say that all of them don't have it, because they want to add lines.
Oh, okay.
Storylines and stuff like that. So,
oh my God.
They have you being the actor, you come in and you want to help the audience understand that your dog died.
Right.
And so you say, yeah, man, whatever the line is, I sure miss Blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the audience goes, oh, man, the dog's dead? Right? Because they won't find that out until later, and then it's too late, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
But so in 1997, let's just use that as an example. I think it was 97. Maybe it was 96. Jim Belushi was in a movie called Retroactive.
Okay.
And I shot the ADR on that. I haven't seen Jim in quite a while, but we spent a week together in the studio.
Crazy.
Went to lunch. I have a great story about him. I'll stay on the ADR thing, but remind me about this story because it's awesome.
I will. That's what we need to do. We need to have a podcast every so often where we have a story about somebody.
Good. Yeah. Okay. My car might blow up in the parking lot, though.
Right. You have to, with permission.
Yeah, exactly. So he had over 300 lines of ADR in that movie.
Oh,
and it was
horrible.
Shot out in the desert, and there was wind conditions, and there was
horrible.
problems.
That's got to be really frustrating for an actor.
Yeah,
to have to come back and do your lines over again.
Now there's a certain element of they know that things can go wrong, so they're also understanding to a degree. Some more and more now, it's like, why can't they get it right on the set?
Yeah.
Well, there's limitations sometimes. Like if a woman's walking around in a bra and panties, there's not so many places where you can tuck a mic pack and a lav mic.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
So, and especially if you're outside,
exactly, because we've seen a shitload of women in bras and panties outside.
Oh, especially in movies, but
all over
never
the place.
in my town.
My town.
Never in my desert.
So over 300 lines of ADR in that film just for Jim.
Oh my God, that's what we.
Frank Whaley was in the movie too. He had a bunch. I mean, it was just incredible.
That's a big part of what you do. Now that's what Buck does. Buck does a lot of that, right?
Buck does do. He's coming into that. He's like kind of learning the ropes on that. Transitioning from the music side. He's not actually leaving the music side because he's so damn good.
Yep.
But he's getting hatted, as we say, on the technique of handling clients and working with lip sync and mouth shapes and stuff like that.
That's interesting, man.
But now, because there's so much technology, all of those problems on the set generally can get fixed. Like we can remove a lot of wind. We can remove background settling sounds like creaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. The most incredible thing to be able to do for the movie is to be able to communicate with, you're the actor. I say, Jay, right now your ADR is not matching because on the screen you're smiling when you say the line, and right now you're not. Oh, fuck. Right. Okay. Great. So then we get a take with you're smiling and it sounds like this, or you're smiling and it sounds like this. It's subtle, but it's so major to look at it and go, that was not what he said.
Oh, that's crazy. You don't want it. You don't want to be taken out of the picture going, that doesn't look right or feel right.
Yep.
And it's got to match. Are they doing the matching, or are you matching it up later?
Mostly. Now we have things.
You manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah. One thing in particular with Pro Tools called elastic audio. And when you engage that on the track, then you can start to manipulate it. Now you can't go so super far because it'll start
changing the voice.
Artifacting. It'll like bump and do weird things. But for the most part, like we use B's, P's, and
those plosives
to line up lip sync. And you can go frame by frame, backwards, forwards, and all that stuff. So
the technology is so amazing,
dude.
And I love credit. Let's get a dude in here, dude or girl that made that shit. Let's talk to them. Like, and wouldn't that be so cool to hear
awesome.
from why? Because they're doing it. I mean, you're the engineer behind it, and you know what it does. But they're the ones that were like, let's do that.
Yeah.
Now, and how does that idea come up? I love ideas. I love people making
necessity,
something.
man. Because I think they saw the limitations of analog.
Yeah.
You could only have a tape that was 2 inches wide that had 24 tracks on it.
Yeah.
You start to change that. Now, all of a sudden, that massive tape machine is going to grow into the size of a fucking Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
Right? So locking two machines together to get 48 tracks is not easy, but it's doable. now we've got 368, I think, is the latest track count in Pro Tools. It's like, and we use them all.
If it's ever possible.
Bam.
If it's ever possible, dude, wouldn't it be the coolest thing? Maybe not for maybe you're listening right now and you're like, that wouldn't be so cool. Well, I'm a listener too, and I'm super interested in this because it blew my mind to see what you do and how many tracks there are. We need to get someone with a video camera to come in and get permission, obviously, whoever's film it is, if that's even possible.
It is.
I don't know.
It is very possible.
So, okay, because that all has to happen too, right? And you do this, the same thing you did with me. We just talked about it, but the same thing you did with me. We document that and make it a video for YouTube so people can see that gun sound, that car screeching away, even the footsteps. They're not there, people.
Right.
What's there is trying to get the cleanest dialogue that they can with no extra noises.
That's right.
That's all because that's the king.
Yeah.
They
dialogue
want that.
is king. Yep.
So they're really trying to capture good dialogue. That's it. They don't want crickets. But later on you do.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. That's true.
I think it'd be so cool for people.
It would be a great show.
I think it would be so cool for people to see all those little sounds that you put in. You showed me what movie, I don't know what movie it was that you showed me where they were in that liquor store.
It was called The Long Night, which hasn't been released yet.
Right.
In fact, it may, by the time this show comes out, it may have a changed name.
Oh, of course
called
it does.
Surviving the Night, which
they always change.
I got the call, or I was in the studio when the call came in. Hey, the execs at Lionsgate said, we're going to change the name of the movie.
They always do.
They always do.
Well,
it's called
Code.
The Long Night is the name of that. Shea Buckner, Chad Michael Murray, Bruce Willis.
It's pretty cool.
Tyler John Olson, I think is his name.
Okay.
All fun, really good, fun little kidnapping thing. You know, but anyway,
cool.
you saw the making of the big shootout in the liquor store.
All of it. I mean, the ricocheting bullet.
Yeah.
When I heard you can, and the funny thing is, when it's all layered there, you go, oh yeah, now I hear the ricochet, but it's all there, and it's it's to me, it's you're painting. You're an artist just as much as the rest of them, and you're painting that little bit of that. You're adding that little bit, so I can see why when you. As a movie maker, as a filmmaker, when they find someone like you that not only has the skill, because the skill, that's fine, but there's also this rapport that we want to have with people, right? And
the relationship.
We're finding that when we're doing these podcasts. Right? Yeah. If we were a couple of dicks, no one would want to have a conversation.
We would be sitting here being dicks alone,
totally alone, just dicks,
just two dicks in a room.
And we're interested in what they have, what they're doing as well. So you can see why it's not. People, if you take this lesson from this podcast, that's why skill is super important, but it's also the ability to be able to work and play nicely with others.
Oh, 100%.
Right? That's why Peter Papacinelli said he just loves Sasha, because Sasha, he doesn't have to, he speaks a different language. Not only does he speak music, but he speaks what you want, right? And it's a crazy thing. It's a really, really unique talent to have.
It's fun. It's a fun industry. There is a lot of sometimes a lot of stress, like to hit deadlines with Cannes Film Festival, Tribeca, or Sundance.
Pressure.
Slant. Yeah, man.
You have no idea.
They call the studio... Kitchens. Shout out to Juniper Post.
Yeah, Juniper Post,
David
man.
Kitchens.
No, dude, we're gonna let's spend some time at the end here talking about Juniper Post. People don't realize how much. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just having people come in and they need it turned around in a week.
Yeah.
Because they have a deadline or whatever, and you're like, okay, we've been here before. Yeah. And we've made the deadline.
So what does that mean when they do that to you? Does that mean
just
longer days?
Yeah, long days. Long days, because in theory, you have anywhere from 1 to say 6 audio editors, right? And if they're all working in parallel, that's 6 weeks of work getting done in 1 week.
God, it's crazy,
right? Then you have a temp mix to get done in a couple days. Now, a colleague of mine, David Barber, absolutely masterful. He did a temp mix, I think, on Escape Plan 3.
Okay.
Which we're actually, the studio is nominated for a Golden Reel for that this year.
Nice.
I think the awards are coming up here pretty quick. But David did a temp mix, and it was so good that a lot of it remained
That's
that way in the final when they came back.
Now that's what you want, dude. And it's the same thing with podcasting. People don't. I always say that. And I got to stop saying that. People don't realize. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't realize a lot of things. But as a podcaster, and all the years that I've been podcasting, especially when you're producing a lot of content. Mm-hmm. Same with you, especially when you're working at it's a rapid pace, right? You want to be able to have things set up in a way that there's a minimal amount of work so you can focus on the actual real art of it, right? Okay. So, I've set up my studio in a way that I don't have to worry about whether our voices sound good or whether the levels are right. Yeah. I just have to worry about, and that way I can do more and more and more. So it's brilliant that when you get to that level, like yourself and like your colleague, where it's like, you did the first run through and they liked a lot of it. Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
It is sweet.
That's a nice talent. Yeah. Let's talk about Juniper Post because
David Kitchens.
Exactly. Let me preface this a little bit because when Michael and I came up with this idea, the biggest problem we had wasn't that we didn't have all the technology that we needed, because obviously Michael's been an engineer of music and recording, and I've been podcasting. Mm-hmm. We've got everything we need. Yeah. We've got mobile equipment. We've got all of it. So we weren't worried about that at all. What we were worried about, though, is where do we do it?
Do we do the show?
Because we live an hour outside of LA. Nobody wants to come up here, right? So we have to make it convenient for them. We have to. Yeah. And so we're like, ooh, well, and what are we going to do? So we bounced around some ideas. You asked David Kitchens. Yep. He said yes. Yep. And we're hosting all of our stuff so far out of Juniper Post, which is where you work. Yep. I can't be more grateful that he's allowing us to do that. I've not met the man yet, but I am incredibly grateful. And I hope that, it does something good for him as well. It builds a relationship with the people that are coming through there.
Well, it certainly does. And all of the people that were on our panel, end of the year show, all but Michael Mintz, have worked at Juniper.
Right.
And Peter Winther actually was there consulting with Peter Facinelli on Hour of Lead. And we're trying to get it together with Peter to Winther to get one of his projects too, because it's just a great way to spend time working is with people that we like, right?
Right.
But yes, all of these people have come through Juniper Post. Juniper Post, award-winning. I have 2 golden reels. I don't know. I think there.
So what's a golden reel?
A golden reel is the award received for the sound people. It's called the MPSEs, Motion Picture Sound Editors. Okay. And it's an award show, and everything from short movies to video games to documentaries to full-length features, straight to video. It's like a technical Grammy.
That's cool. That's cool.
Or Oscar. You know what I mean? It's like a technical
and they have a thing. You go somewhere, they give these out.
It's a big, huge party, and everybody's dressed nice.
And you rub elbows.
And you brush your teeth.
And you give people your business cards for Unscripted Narrative and say, hey, man. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
No, it's real. It's real. That's how it works.
That's great.
So I think I've got 2, which is great. But I think there might be 3 or 4 of those for Juniper, maybe even 5. But they have an Emmy.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it
with James Cameron, working for James Cameron on Expedition Bismarck, and this is back some time ago. But you don't get those awards by being fugazis. You know what I mean?
No. It's
a legit, high caliber group of people that work there.
It is.
And I'm super lucky because. As many of you know, some of you don't, I had some health issues several years ago. And then right on the transitional part of like trying to figure out a way to emotionally get out of the fear of being sick. Juniper Post calls, David Kitchens calls and says, "Hey, Krep, you want to come back to work?"
Oh man,
and
that's
it was
awesome.
like the end of 2014 because I had started working with David. We were just kids, man. I was 29, 1999. I started working for him the day after my 29th birthday. Then weeks later in July, I went to Michigan and got married. So he was cool with me starting and then having time off to go get married.
That's awesome.
And then I came back and, David and I have been good friends for a long time. Played in a band together. He's an incredible singer.
That's cool.
Yeah, very talented guy. And I say this with all the love I have in me. He takes care of multiple families.
Wow.
You
That's
know what
awesome.
I mean? The obligation he has by owning Juniper Post is I can't quite put it into words. He provides not only for my family,
Yeah.
but I think there's 6 or 7 employees there, and like David Barber, he's got a family, and he takes care of these people and makes sure that there's work and we're working. So when we work, we get paid, and when we get paid, we get to fucking eat.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
Something to that, right?
Oh, God, dude.
And there's
Amazing.
there's nothing like, okay, there's nothing like saying, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this business, right? And there's an astronomical amount of investment for what he does. These studios are incredible.
Isn't that gorgeous over there?
The money that's put into putting out professional quality is there, and I for him to do that, I love people like him. It's brilliant that they do that, and they create opportunities for people like you,
Right.
and then he's allowing us to do what we do. It's just what a gracious human being. So I can't wait to meet him.
He's awesome.
So Juniper
awesome.
Post is where Michael works, and where all these brilliant people have come through have worked.
Yeah.
And big shout out,
Big shout out, dude.
Well, 2020 is going to be incredible, man. 2020 is going to be incredible. I just thank you. I want to thank everybody, all of our listeners that have supported us thus far.
Yeah.
Much like, not to the extent, but much like starting a business like Juniper Post, it's not the easiest thing to say you want to do something and actually follow through and do it.
Right.
And I thank you, Michael, for it's nice to have a partner, and I've had that in bands sometimes. Sometimes you don't. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Bands, you don't have great partners sometimes. I have that in my wife, of course, Mindy.
Yeah,
she's an incredible partner, incredible podcaster. But also you're working hard at what we do. You're dedicated to it. You're handling the YouTube stuff.
Yep.
It's awesome. It keeps you motivated. It's fun to work with someone that's just as inspired as you are.
Same.
So I appreciate
Same.
that.
And I'm learning so much, man. And really, that was, first of all, we knew each other before the podcast. But that was one thing that was very attractive to approach you about doing it together, was your extensive 600 plus, 700 plus podcasts. I was like, yeah, I should just ask Jason.
Yeah, man.
And then randomly we were at a gig at the same
Weird,
place.
right?
And I was
It's
like,
weird.
yeah, fuck it, I'm going to ask him.
It's one of those things in life. I was telling my sister that I talked to my sister over the holidays, and she was like, "Hey, how are you meeting all these people?" Right? And I'm like, "Well, there's this one guy I met 15 years ago."
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those things in life. I can say it to people who aspire for anything, that if you have an idea, go for it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what that idea is going to lead to later on in life. I would have never have guessed that being in a crappy band recording at your studio 15 years ago, not crappy, it was fun, we had a good time, but a band that doesn't exist anymore led to me doing this with you. What? Right? So that's why if you have an idea, go with it. You never know when the season's going to come around where you're going to be doing something pretty cool.
Right.
And to me, this is pretty fucking cool.
Absolutely. It just in closing for me too, this is very true for me as well, with fronting my band. Because I was, like you, a drummer.
Yeah. Behind the scenes.
Behind,
Your
man,
support.
and just like, just that's the drummer, right?
Yeah.
And then years and years and years of no say in the music writing.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right.
just play a beat, dude. You know, that kind of
I
thing.
get it.
Finally, I said, okay, I'm going to teach myself how to play guitar. So I taught myself as much as I could about it, spending hundreds and thousands of hours in the studio producing people and all of this stuff, and like knowing how to communicate and getting performances. And right around the same time that Juniper Post called at the end of 2014, I had decided to do this album with my homies in Michigan, Lisa Raga, John Connors, and Jimmy.
Shout out.
And the first thing was, who's going to sing?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's got to be me.
It's going to be Phil Collins is going to sing.
Yeah.
Michael Kreple.
So from there, I went to playing guitar and even playing bass in bands and playing drums in bands and even keyboards, to now fronting a band, a Southern rock style band.
Yeah.
And do yourself a favor.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm almost 50. I'm like, in May, I'll be 50.
Dude, and look, there's never going to be a day where I'm not going for it. I've said that. I've said, and look, people that have listened to me in my podcast world and my rants and all the shit I've said over the years, they know well that, I've found success frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, at least in my creative endeavors, I've found it to be something that's frustrated me. I'm always throwing my hands in the air like, why?
Yeah.
But I also said, well, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to keep knocking at the door until it opens, until I find the thing. And I'll tell you this, in regards to podcasting, I get so much more creative, fulfillment out of it than I ever did from music or any of the other endeavors that I do. I just absolutely love it. And like you, I was always, I got a voice back here as the drummer, right?
Yeah.
I can't play guitar, never really was interested in it, so podcasting is my guitar. I think it's awesome that you sing. You're great at it, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
But you're also a pretty damn good podcaster.
Right on.
Didn't know that, right?
I had no idea, but it's just talking with you, so that's good. But before I forget, Instagram, Hand of Giants Official.
Please.
Give us a follow, and we're also on Facebook at Hand of Giants. We have a show coming up to February 29th.
Yep.
Leap year this year.
Where's it going to be?
It's at Universal Bar and Grill.
Ooh. Now,
and by the way, shout
Universal
out.
Studios?
No, it's on Lancashire.
Okay. Yep. I'll is it on a weekend? 'Cause
Saturday
you know
night.
me.
Saturday night.
I'll be there, bro.
Awesome, dude. There's one guest you know that is going to come up and jam with us.
Oh boy. Oh, that's cool,
Yes,
dude. Oh yeah,
yeah.
we'll be there for sure.
Big shout out to the dudes and my lovely wife Jax. Eric Slater playing guitar.
Nice. I know all those dudes.
Yeah, Johnny Zimmerman playing the drums.
Oh boy.
Sean. Boy, this bass player, dude. He's like,
Now that's the guy that played at the Whiskey,
yes.
right? Loved that guy, dude.
Yeah.
Loved him. I remember sitting up at the Whiskey, and the bass travels up into the corners basically of a building. That's where we were sitting, and I'm like, dude. Everybody kept saying the bass is pretty loud. I'm like, well, that's just the way it travels up. I'm like, but listen to it.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Sean Davis is like out of the world.
Really, really good. Good performer too.
Yeah,
Looks good on stage.
He's rocker, dude.
Yeah.
Right? Big old afro.
Yeah.
Wears cool clothes.
Like a bass playing Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah,
dude.
plays a Rickenbacker bass.
I know.
Totally
I noticed
great.
that. I was like, oh, look at that Rickenbacker.
My boy Cliff playing keys for us.
I can't wait to see it, dude. I'm stoked. I did not. You did tell me Johnny Z, and now Johnny Z. If you listen to the folks that are interested in what I do, I'm also in a band called Jesse Vaz and the Velvet Rain, and we worked with Johnny Z on one song called "Conversation" that's on the album that we have out. And God, he did it. He did an incredible job engineering that for us. So he's a talented guy.
Talented dude. Technically as well.
Yeah. So 29th. That's cool. Shout that out. I'll be there. We'll try to get as many.
It'll be
people as we
fun
can.
because there's something significant. I can't remember, but there was something significant. It might just be the leap year.
It's the day of the leap
29th.
year. Yeah.
February 29th. It was awesome to be able to grab.
It's pretty sweet.
So.
Every 5 years that happens.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. Well, Michael, thanks for doing this. Is awesome.
Thank you, Jay.
2020 is gonna be dope.
Rocking, dude.
And thank you, listeners. Farewell.
Oh wait.
Oh yeah, hang on. We got to get the guitar out. Here we go. We got to actually legit write a jingle that we do every single time.
Okay.
All right.
Unscripted narrative.
Unscripted narrative.
Yeah.